go to a site.
Sure.
We're on live.
You're live now.
Okay, Bill, you're gonna open the meeting?
All right, we're live now. Let's start the meeting,
It
Charlie.
is, yep, it's currently streaming as of right now.
Okay.
Bill, the chairman starts the meeting.
Understand what they say when they're swimming.
She said it's live now, so start your meeting.
All right, Charlie, we're underway, apparently.
Yes,
Okay, first thing on the agenda,
the first thing on the agenda is
Strawberry
approval of the
Fields
minutes.
LLC.
I move that we accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
Second.
Oh, yeah, good idea, Jim.
Aye,
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Whoa, okay.
Pretty
that's done.
coordinated. First on the meeting is Strawberry Fields. He asked for a continuance, and a lot has happened in between. We were supposed to have Dennis Murphy on tonight, but apparently he can't make it, and he's not going to be I sent everybody an email. I hope you read it. We lost town council. Dennis Murphy has a conflict of interest. And now we might have a new council. I can't think of his first name. It's Leger.
His first
Help me out.
is Luke Leger.
Luke Leger.
Do you know Luke Leger, Marty?
Yes, I do know Luke. I've worked with him on a few projects, 40B projects.
Okay.
He's a very good attorney.
Can you-
Yes,
Can you do this or this?
he's good.
Okay, good, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes, he's very good. Mhm.
So that's a continued hearing, and the rest of the agenda that I had for signatures to read and approve is a waste of time because we're not going to be represented by Dennis Murphy's firm. The second thing on the agenda is a new
Charlie.
hearing. Yes,
Can I interrupt? But Marty's here. So if Marty's here, do you want her to say anything more?
she can say anything she wants about that project. All ears.
I really don't have anything to say. The applicants has Beta's comments, and we don't have a response back from them. So I'm going to reach out to them tomorrow to find out if that is available yet, and if so, to send it along. So I will. I'll circle back with the commission and Lisa and let you know when to expect a response to our comments.
Thank you,
You're
Marty.
talking about your comments to Strawberry Fields, not to the lawyer.
Strawberry Fields.
That's
Yes.
right, Strawberry Fields, so that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, they requested continuance because there's nothing to discuss at this point. We don't have a response,
Okay.
have a response. Mhm. So,
Okay. Charlie, are you going to do this or is Lisa going to start picking it up?
Can I say something?
Sure.
Charlie, you had in the agenda, the reason why they requested the continuance is because Marty wasn't gonna have enough time to review the revisions, but Marty never got them.
Well, whatever I was told is what I did. That
Yeah.
he told me that he had sent them, or it was all in process, and it never happened. So
right.
Just continue it, I guess, right? No other choice.
Yep, continue it out for a while, so at least next month.
yeah, it's continued until February 18th.
Okay,
February 5,
No, 18th, the
18th.
third Thursday of the month at 7 PM unless we decide that's too late or something.
motion to continue to February 18th.
Second?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next on is a new
Thanks,
hearing.
Marty.
thank you. I'll get back to you tomorrow
Bye,
Charlie.
Marty.
Thank
Okay.
you. Bye,
See ya.
everyone.
Second is a new hearing. It's a request for determination of applicability from New England Power Company. And Heidi Graff is on to talk about it.
Okay, Laura, can Heidi present her plan on this for us, or?
Do you need to have a shared screen feature, Heidi?
I can if that would be helpful.
Yes, let me give you the rights to that.
Heidi, you're on.
I'm gonna pull up another to get my plan ready.
Yes, she's working on something.
I have my plan up for me to read off of, but I don't want to present that full plan. So let me.
You're gonna have to speak up, Heidi, because
It's just gonna be a minute, Bill. She's just pulling up her plan.
okay.
Here we go. Can you hear me and see the plan?
I can see the
Yep.
plan.
Yep.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So my name is Heidi Graff. I'm with BSC Group, and I'm representing the Massachusetts Electric Company for their project along Brook Street in Dayton. This project is part of a larger maintenance project to interconnect the new solar site that's going in at the end of Brook Street to the distribution line. There's already existing lines along Brook Street, but it doesn't run the full way. So they're proposing to install additional poles between the existing pole 26, which is right around here, and existing pole 30, which is here. Hopefully you can see the hand on the PDF moving. So in this space, there are 7 poles proposed. However, only 4 of them are within the jurisdiction of the Wetlands Protection Act and the Dayton Conservation Commission. So the 4 poles that are under your jurisdiction are 26-4. Let me zoom in a little. 28-4, 29, and 27-9, -1, excuse me. So all 4 of these poles are within the 100-foot buffer zone and also within the locally regulated 25-foot no disturb and 50-foot no build zones. Each of these poles will be within 10 feet of the road, but they're going to require tree removals. So we submitted the RDA for the pole installation and the tree removals that are required to facilitate the installation at each location. So there will be 1 tree for each pole. I believe there's 1 oak and 3 maples total within jurisdictional areas. The poles will be installed with the direct embed method. So they'll auger a hole approximately 6 feet deep. They'll install the pole. They'll use the excavated soils to backfill, and any additional spoils will be removed from the site. The plan for the tree removals, they'll be cut at the stumps. The stumps will be retained. Any larger material that can't fit in the chipper will be left on site. The brush and the smaller pieces will be chipped and removed from the area. And then they'll install the overhead line connecting it from pole 26 to pole 30. And then we also submitted the RDA as a courtesy notification for 8 additional exempt utility maintenance activities. So there are 8 pole replacements in buffer zones or resource areas under the town's jurisdiction. That is the project in a nutshell. Are there any questions?
Lisa, I'm going to let you go first.
Well, okay, as being someone who used to do peer review and work on the side of Mass Electric, I know that they're good and they are really strict about environmental compliance. I don't have any problem with this project. You know, as long as the erosion controls are in, notified after they're in, so I can go check them out. And then someone is around to monitor occasionally when we have large storms. And everything's going to get restored back to original or close to original grade. So I don't have a problem. There's no steep slopes or anything that we're dealing with, correct?
No,
No.
it's not very steep.
Yeah.
It's fairly
Okay.
level, that whole area.
Yeah, and it's all within the right of way of the road. So except
Yep.
for the 4 trees, it's minimal disturbance. I did get a phone call from an abutter who asked questions, Patrick Menges at 1271 Somerset Ave. Just was concerned about the large trees that were being cut and didn't know if any of this activity was going to create more ATV activity in the area. After I read the RDA to him and explained it, he was reassured and he didn't have any worries, but just wanted to state that for the record.
Okay.
Anyone else?
No, I concur with what Lisa had said because we've seen their work in the past and it has been very high quality.
Okay,
Yeah, and we do, I'm sorry, I didn't mention this. We do have sediment controls shown on the plan, so they'll be installed prior to ground disturbance for the pole installation.
Great. No natural heritage areas either, correct? Yeah.
No
No.
natural heritage.
all right. If no one has any questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, I move that we accept the project as designed. And if Lisa wants to add in any other comments such as the siltation barriers, that's fine.
I'm fine with what they have proposed.
They
Okay,
show the siltation barriers
Yeah.
on the plan.
okay, so the
Yeah.
motion is made to accept the plan as proposed.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Heidi.
Okay, thank you so much. Lisa, will you be emailing that or mailing a hard copy?
I can email it.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
just give us a little time to get it out to you, okay?
Yep, of course, COVID
Thank you.
times.
Yeah, fun,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good
Thank you.
night.
You too.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You. Bye-bye.
Yeah, there he is. Okay, what do we got next on the agenda, Charlie?
I'll read them off. First item is welcoming Lisa aboard. She's assumed the position. She's in the process of obtaining equipment and office items that are necessary. She's already doing her duties and well. She's visited lots of sites. I only had Duart's and Horton Street, but there were others. That's number one. Number two, Jim and I visited Mr. Duart's property. Do I have to read the whole thing or you guys have the agenda minutes right in front of you? I mean, the agenda.
I have the agenda in front of me.
I thought it was a certificate of compliance for Stephen Gilbert.
Oh, that's on the list, but that's
That's,
next, not quite yet.
yes.
Okay.
You in a hurry?
No,
But I mean, he insists that the runoff is not his because it's running from his neighbor's property, but it is his. Jim and I argued with him. It didn't do any good. Gave him the enforcement order, he tore it in 4 pieces. He has restored or installed the siltation barriers on the north side of the house, I noticed, and along the west property line. And from the pictures I saw, I think it was from Lisa, or it could be from him that he texted to Lisa. It looked like a pretty good installation, but it seems as though the stuff is still running off his property. I know the recent rainstorm, he was not happy, and
Neither was the vernal pool.
no. Well, the vernal pool made me maybe not a vernal pool anymore. It looks more like a lake or a pond.
It's a certified vernal pool, Charlie.
I know it is, but I'm just telling you what I saw with Jim. It's way beyond vernal pool size.
It's what?
It looks like a pond. The day we were there, it was coming through the wall.
Oh, okay.
Lisa, the pictures that he sent you, did he do any work?
So, yeah, so, all right, let's back up a little bit. So even
Okay.
before the storm, you know, I had some phone calls that when he was issued the enforcement order that I wasn't really aware of until that moment. But I was made aware and I read through the file, and I have to say that he seems to be cooperating with me right now. Every time I tell him to do something, he does it. I asked him to add more stone in the back around some, I guess, makeshift detention ponds that he built. See, the whole problem is that there's multiple problems. The ground was exposed for a very long time. This project's dragging on. He's in a highly erodible type soil on a steep slope, but he has finally put his septic system in, and we didn't necessarily want to stop him from doing that. We wanted him to continue so that he can actually stabilize the site this spring. But I understand the commission was interested in having him hire a consultant, but that would almost delay everything, and the silt would never, unless, you know, he hires a good consultant that can get out there really quickly. But the problem remains that the site is not going to be stable until the septic system is in and he can level that off. He bought some additional hay, put that down, additional silt fences and coir logs, and he bought some erosion control blankets. So I'm hopeful, but I did show him the silt, and I told him, I said, this is unacceptable. You cannot do this. This is discharging directly into resource areas. We can't allow this. This is against your permit. And he agreed to continue to try to maintain his siltation on his site. But Todd Pilling and I went out to the site last week, well, the beginning of this week, and we followed some silt down that had come. What the problem is, he has this stone wall that's retaining a bunch of soil. The silt fence, he couldn't put that in close enough to the wall because of the stones. So in between, there's a bunch of dirt, and it's all running off, and that's what's causing the problems. So I explained that to him. He put in additional check dams below the stone wall with straw, and I'm hopeful that that does the trick. But I know that there's a good chance the next rain it's going to get bad again. But I really think that once he stabilizes, and Todd agrees, once he stabilizes that front yard, we're going to have a whole different situation. It's going to be much better. But until then, you know,
we need warm weather, light rain, and a lot of loam with a lot of seed, fast growing seed on that front property, and maybe the back as well.
yeah, he bought some erosion control blankets to put over his septic system, and I'd like him to put that over the entire exposed area in the front. I did find out what that pipe was that was draining, causing like a little channel. He had piped the water that was building up behind where he put the septic system in front of his porch. He had piped that out so that it didn't go around and wash it out. But that supposedly is being removed. It was just a temporary pipe.
Who put in the septic system?
What is it?
Who put in the septic system?
That's a question for Todd Pilling.
Yeah, just because I'm thinking if they follow the plan, they're gonna take care of some erosion as well. They'll follow that plan to a T, and they should at least did that part.
Yeah, I can look back into my messages and get that information to you. I did ask him. But
As I'm sure they didn't get their certificate of compliance either then, the installer.
from the Board of Health, no, not yet. Well, supposedly this week Todd was doing the final.
Yeah.
And
You
this
could
week
go
or
back to
next
them
week.
and say, hey, I want all these barriers in place that when you first started, and that will also try to help the problem, I guess.
Yeah, so he's put additional barriers, but yeah, I mean, it's a good point.
Yeah, I haven't seen the site. I'm just trying to think out of the box, but I'd have to drive by and actually.
Yeah, you should check it out. I mean, after the next rain or before the next rain, check it out.
Or
It's
during
tough. But I'm hoping that vernal pool is not gonna be devastated. I think the abutters might have some recourse as far as the degradation that's happened in the pond.
Okay.
Also, just for the record, Todd Pilling and I spoke about the stormwater issues on Hart Street and how parts of the roads appear to be like failing and the country drainage isn't really working much. Some possibility of that becoming, you know, a town project to maybe install some rain gardens and different kind of drainage along the street.
Okay, anybody else with any questions on this Hot Street project? Okay, I have
I
one.
just had one question. Are you gonna give them, is there a follow-up inspection, a time frame?
Well, yeah, I mean, next rainstorm, I guess I should be out there. It doesn't matter which day it is, but I should try to be out there for that. And he was told to try to be out there for the next rainstorm so that he can mitigate, you know, any problems. But the bottom line is for him to get his system in and get that blanket installed. And I think the sooner the better on that. Todd did say they were gung ho to have the hole inspected, and then it takes them a couple weeks to put the system in. So
Perfect, thank you.
I'll keep following up. I asked him if he wanted to attend the meeting and he said no. So
The question that I have is his order of conditions expired and and the period where he could get an extension has expired. So now, since he doesn't have an order of conditions, how do we control him? How do we?
well, with COVID, nothing's expiring. With
Well,
COVID, so did it expire before March of last year?
Absolutely. Well, I don't recall a project ever that came to the commission where the order of conditions has expired. I remember one who came in and asked for an extension, but I don't remember anyone whose order of conditions has expired and the extension period also. So what do you do? Do you make the guy come back in and refile, or I don't know. I'm open for suggestions. I would like to know in my mind how to handle this situation.
As an abutter? You
What?
mean as an abutter?
No, as a conservation commissioner.
Okay. Well, typically, I mean, I'm finding a lot of these situations where things weren't recorded or,
It's hard to hear you when you mumble.
I'm finding a lot of these situations where like things weren't recorded or followed up. And so, I mean, little by little, we can fix it, but we can't fix everything right away. We
Lisa,
can request, yes.
I think that the best we're going to do, even if we were to try to make him refile, we're going to tell him to do the same thing that we're telling him now. I think that what we should do is just force him to get everything done by May. And by that, I'm saying have it level, have it loamed, have it seeded, and grass up.
Right.
You know, I understand Bill's problem. I understand what he's going through. I understand, I see what it's doing to the ponds, and not only Bill's ponds, but the vernal pool. But right now, we just have to keep him working on on what he's doing to accomplish it successfully, so he can get out of this mess, because it is a mess for him too.
Right. The more we slow, it's not in our interest to slow him down right now.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
we can ask for mitigation. I mean, it's not to say when he does go for a certificate of compliance, we can't say you need to help us. You need to help us by cleaning out, dredging out the pond in the vernal pool, or like, requiring a study. We do have a baseline study of the vernal pools, which is terrific, because that'll tell us what was in there before, so that, at the end of his project, we can see if there's still that much life in there. I know Bill says there isn't much life left in his pond, which isn't good. But so we've got a vernal pool on the north side of the street, and we've got a pond on the south side. I mean, there are some areas we can ask him for some mitigation. I can't see fining the guy $300 a day right now when he's agreeing to cooperate, but if he stops agreeing to cooperate, I'd say we should fine him.
Well, that's dangling over his head.
Right. Definitely.
I don't know if you go there again, Lisa, with the next rainstorm, and there is really no serious rain in the offing for the next week and a half, maybe light snow, to remind him of his to remind him of the problems that he has committed himself and what can be done, including cleaning the pools, the ponds.
Yeah.
Kevin, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I agree with Lisa right now. It's probably better off just to work with him. Hopefully he understands that if he doesn't comply, he's gonna get fined. But just to get this thing moving along, because it sounds like there's a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he opened up much too much land, much more than he had to.
Right.
And
For too long of a period.
All right, what's next on the agenda, Charlie?
Next on the agenda, Jim, Jack, and I signed a certificate of compliance request put in by Stephen Gilbert as SFG Associates. He needed it before this meeting, and he's been very good to us, been a good associate, actually, him and his firm. So we just issued the certificate of compliance. He did submit a request. He did submit an as-built plan as required, and we issued that last week. He's closing and he's moving to Cape Cod somewhere. That's over on Smith Street, 1780 Smith Street, I believe, is the address.
Phil?
We ought to,
You have to formally vote on that, right?
yes, we do.
I would have went out and looked at it for you if you needed me to.
okay, let's formally then issue a certificate of compliance to Stephen Gilbert.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Number 4, we received itemized invoice number 3 from Beta Group for services rendered from October 31, 2020 to January 1, 2021 in the amount of $3,322.77. All we need is discuss and approve it. There's still money in the 53G account, but it's getting pretty close to tight. And the second part of this number 4 is we should discuss the dollar number and vote to approve replenishing the 53G account tonight.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the money that she put in the, and let's vote on that, and then we can do the second voting on the replenishing.
Yes,
Okay, this is for all the work that they have done, Beta has done on Strawberry Fields, correct?
yes, Strawberry Fields.
Okay, I move that we pay Beta $3,322.77 from the 53G account for Strawberry Fields.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It didn't sound like I got an aye from everyone.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye, aye, aye.
Okay,
You
all
guys
in
hear me
favor
now?
said aye without motion pass.
That was good,
Yes.
Charlie.
Now it's
Can you
all
guys hear me?
Lisa's.
Okay, now, Charlie, you were looking for refurbishing the 53G account.
Yes.
We have, okay, another 5,000?
How about 10 grand?
That's fine with
5,000
me.
is what we did the first time, and then we had to get another $7,300. So
Okay, let's tell Strawberry Fields that we need another $10,000 in the 53G account for their project.
I'll second that. Is that a motion?
Do we have to make a motion on that?
Sure.
Okay, I made the motion then.
Okay, I seconded it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Hey.
carries.
Now it's all Lisa's.
Oh, boy. All right, so I got a call from a Jody. Geez, I should look up her last name, but she's a realtor for the owners of 1361 Main Street. They bought the property from Tony Broderick. It's the second house from the corner of Williams, heading south on Main. I'm sorry, heading east on Main. You guys might remember this site. Some flags were moved. A wetland biologist got upset.
Who
Marty
removed the
went out.
flags, Lisa?
Huh?
Who moved the flags?
Tony Broderick had moved the flags. For the record. And anyways, Marty Nova went out there and anyways, you guys issued orders of conditions and it was for 4 houses or 3 houses, right?
One at a time.
You did one at a time?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Lisa, is
okay.
this the house that is currently for
Own-
sale?
own-
Excuse me. Is this the
Yeah,
house
yeah,
that is for sale now?
It was for sale. It was just, I think it's under contract now where they just,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
I know what
anyways-
you're talking about. Okay.
We all discovered the orders of conditions and the orders of conditions were recorded. So not sure how the lawyers missed in that first transaction with Tony Roderick being the seller and these new folks that are selling it now being the owners. I'm not sure how it was missed by the lawyers, but someone missed getting a certificate of compliance. So now there's a lot of back and forth with, the buyers and the current owner, which isn't a great situation. Bottom line, Tony tried to get an as-built. Of course, the as-built showed some things that weren't supposed to be done out there were done. The owners that are there now said, we didn't know. They claimed they didn't know they had wetlands, but then again, there was an order of conditions that passed along with the property, so I don't understand that.
Well, the problem is that the order of conditions were issued to Tony Roderick, and he never transferred the information to the new owners.
Yeah, but it was, okay, but it was, okay, maybe it wasn't recorded.
Yeah, recorded, right?
Was it recorded? That's the big question. They found it, the lawyers found it, but they never found a certificate of compliance. So it must have been recorded, which is confusing. So something happened there, but now anyways, I visited the site with Bob Berreby from Proline Engineering and the Realtor yesterday. Of course, the flags aren't up anymore. Bob agreed to replenish or relocate the flags. And he texted me tonight and said, this afternoon, and said they're up. So that's good news. I'll go back out there. I agreed to go back out there next week, verify the flags are in the right location. But now I guess the big question is, and I said, you know, the new owners are probably going to have to move the shed in an area. I mean, there's an area of lawn. I don't think we'll make them take the lawn out, but I mean, the shed and the gravel that's within 25 feet, there is an area there. They might have to do that. So I'll have Bob submit a plan on their behalf at the next meeting, and we'll take it from there.
The no-touch zone has already got grass, Lisa. It's already a lawn.
Well, part of it. So Charlie, so what it is there's an angle there. And at the west end of the house, the west end is closest to the wetland. The east end is far away from the wetland because the wetland doesn't like go straight across their backyard.
Yes.
So there's also a bunch of tree cutting in the back, but that's in the buffer zone. And the tree cutting is, I guess, due to the fact that a large tree fell and the owners were nervous about it and they wanted to clear it out in case any more trees fell. So my gut feeling is maybe, you know, make sure the new owners understand they can't clear anymore beyond that stone wall, and then have them put a 25-foot no touch in, which would just literally affect the northwest or the northern corner of their lot. Maybe have them move the shed out of the 25-foot or out of the 50-foot, whatever you guys are comfortable with. Have them pull the gravel out. But they're gonna have to do a little bit of work.
Maybe a
Okay.
marker where the no-touch zone begins.
Yes.
Cement markers.
And that's what Bob said he was gonna put in for me. He's gonna do that.
Okay, he's gonna come up with a plan, so let's see what he comes up, and when he comes to our meeting, we can then do some bantering and see how he deals with it. And
Yeah.
whoever, that's gonna be either Roderick's problem or the new owners, depending upon who's at fault.
Well, it's the new owners now, and maybe they can go back to, the lawyers can figure that out.
Well, the present
Well,
owners,
they're
people who,
partially to blame too if they didn't.
Oh,
if
I
they
didn't
sold
mean the
the-
new owners. I meant the owners now that bought from
Right.
Roderick. Yeah.
Wait, okay, how many times has the house been sold? Roderick sold it to these people?
Yeah, and they're trying to sell it. That's how this came up.
Oh, okay, so it's not the new owners, it's the first owner that's done the work.
That's what I meant. Yeah. And
So
they're gonna,
the new owners aren't in there yet.
Right, so they're not like used to the yard a certain way and haven't moved in, but the other people moved, or maybe they were moving in this week, I think she said. But the lawyers are going back and forth, and their biggest concern is that this gets cleared up, and they wanted to make sure that the septic system was outside the 100 feet, which 100 foot, which it appears to be according to the as-built that I see.
So
It
we're
wouldn't
just
hurt to
gonna
look
wait
at the other
on,
properties too, just to make sure that they had their certificate of compliance.
Well, the problem they had when when Tony moved the flags, they designed the septic system with the flags moved. When we were aware that the flags were moved, we made them put them back where they were supposed to be. Then they had to relocate the septic system outside the 100-foot buffer zone. That was a problem at that time.
It is as far with the required setbacks, I believe it's as far northeast as it can get away from the wetlands.
Do you know how far it is, Lisa?
It's outside the 100.
Oh, okay. Case closed.
So, you know, I'll go out next week or as soon as I can, verify the wetland edge is where Bob says it is. And then we'll take it from there and have him work with them to put together a little restoration plan.
Okay. Charlie?
No, it's Lisa.
Lisa's forefront solar.
Oh, yeah. So, Stormwater Committee meeting last week, Bill Frenette and I were invited to go on the site visit. The new owners are Clearway Energy. The location is 1522 William Street. So there are a number of concerns that the Stormwater Committee has relating to wetlands as well. But the wetland flags were not present. So we made sure that the crew knew that they needed to, have the wetland flags located again. The delineation is expired for that site, but we did approve it and it was within 3 years now. So they're due to expire, but because of COVID, they're not going to really expire. The point is they haven't even started the work yet, and they may have some additional fill along the cart path to add within a vernal pool and within a regulated area. That would trigger a new filing, and that would trigger a water quality certificate being required because that BVW is connected to a Zone A outstanding resource. So any
Okay.
fill,
So if we just tell them before they do anything, they have to refile with the new work proposed.
yeah, I talked to him today. He actually told me that Forefront didn't give them a copy of the orders of conditions, so he couldn't find it, which I think is crazy, but so they have some work to do. I guess they do have a SWIP, stormwater pollution prevention plan, but they need a stormwater permit. They need to relocate the flags, so they need to relocate the limit of work. And any additional changes to that plan they need to file with us. It may trigger the federal water quality certificate, so that's that on that.
They do have an option to ask for an extension for a year.
Yeah, it'll be an extension from their expiration date.
Yep.
So,
But Charlie, they have, they're going to do additional work and they're going to come in closer to new, to vernal pools and more filling along the path. So let them refile.
Yeah, so you guys issued the orders of conditions to them. Let me see the date here. On February 16th, 2018. So if it wasn't for COVID, they'd have to refile anyway. But because of COVID, they get a year from February 16th. That means the project needs to be complete within a year. So we'll just take it from there and see if they do need to file new changes that the fire chief might require for a larger roadway in there. That's that on that.
Okay. Okay, Lisa, let's continue right along.
Okay, the next one, 0 Horton Street. I was approached by a couple of people asking me what was going on there, so I did some investigations and Charlie gave me the files. And Bill Frenette and Jim Digis and I went out to the site. We found that they were in violation on several counts. The fill that they placed in the wetland, well, first off, it's greater than 5,000 square feet of fill. It's over 11,000 square feet of fill, which automatically triggers a federal water quality permit, which they didn't get. But the fill was filthy fill, like containing construction debris, wiring, tile, glass, what else?
Brick,
Brick,
lots of brick.
lots of brick, but
Countertops ground up.
yeah, rugs,
Foam,
foam. So
That's
that's
on
in violation of 2 conditions. That's in violation of our DEP condition and our Wetland Bylaw Act condition. But in addition to that, they need to show us a copy of the water quality certificate. For the simple fact, there's several reasons. Out there, it's over 5,000 square feet of fill. It's in an outstanding resource water. Because that Papa Squash Brook, is it? Papa Squash Brook? Is
goes to the
connected,
Segregated.
it's connected, it's part of an outstanding resource water. So on the plans and on the NOI, this is another issue that they didn't have the riverfront labeled. They didn't have the NOI filled in correctly. Didn't take into account that it was an outstanding resource water or there was riverfront involved. The good news is I spoke with DEP today, our circuit rider, and we're communicating now, which is very good. And he told me, you know, he agrees with the enforcement order. I'm going to send him, make sure he gets a copy of it. Just so you guys know, everything that goes to DEP now has to get emailed. They don't want to take hard copies of things. They just want an email, and I got the email.
Okay, so Lisa, if I am reading this correctly, we got 4 major violations. One is greater than 5,000 feet, which they had said. They need a water quality. They put in dirty fill, and now I forgot the 4th one.
Well, it's 3. The 5,000 square feet, you guys permitted that, but that triggers a water quality certificate.
Okay.
And
Was
so
there a
does,
Was there a state law too that they did not get? A state approval?
no, the water quality certificate is a federal Army
Okay.
Corps.
So
But
in the enforcement order, we're going to ask for the removal of all that fill, correct?
right, we're gonna ask for the removal.
Or demand it.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Let's see, I wrote the letter and drafted the enforcement order, so make sure it gets out on Monday.
Okay, is that going to be mailed or are we going to do what I suggested?
We can do both. We can hand deliver and mail it.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can let me know Monday.
Oh, definitely. It'll be ready to go.
Okay. Okay, now we have to have an official vote to, and I'll make a motion that we issue an enforcement order to TLC for violations and non-compliance of their order of conditions.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Great. Okay. I don't know much about Reed Brothers, Charlie, except for what I read, and they deserve a follow-up, so I'll work on
They
that.
certainly, they do. And they would have gotten one, but one of the Reed brothers recently deceased. And they're both old people, one less old person in the world. But you need to follow up on it.
Yeah.
They redid the road, the access road to their backfield without a permit. That's what
Okay.
triggered it all. I can give you a copy of the original enforcement order.
I
And
haven't, yeah.
okay, I hand delivered it to them. They were very upset, and they've been uncooperative ever since. They were emailed, not a threatening letter, but a letter from me emailed that they should comply. They haven't done it. They haven't even replied.
Okay, we can talk about how we can go forward with enforcement orders because, for example, TLC, I'm giving them a deadline of when they need to reply by and that they need to come, to the next meeting. They need to reply and come to the next meeting. Basically, I don't want to leave it open-ended. So I think with Reed Brothers, I'll do the same thing. I'll give them 2 weeks to reply and then 2 weeks after that to come to the meeting.
And take a ride down the cart path so you can see what exactly was done.
Right. Oh, definitely.
If it's been wet, don't drive in. Okay, because I walked and I came out full of mud after some rain, but they widened the cart path and you'll see that in some cases, it's only a few feet from the Segregansett River, public water supply. And
Yeah, so
then
that'll be the same. I think that's in the same zone, outstanding resource water. So that'll be the same type of issue. I'll take a look at it.
How much
Now-
did they widen it by?
it varies. Some places a few feet, some places almost nothing. But the new fill was brought in and then they drove over it and the fill is soft. So when it rains, it was tough. And it's about 1,000 feet. It goes about 1,000 feet along the river.
Yeah.
At
cart path-
varying distances.
The
You kind of
existing
agree
cart
with that,
path,
Charlie?
I said the existing cart path is inches away from the edge of the river, a lot of it.
We
In the
can
past,
take a
they
look
were-
at old aerials too and see, but
In the
Okay,
past,
so Lisa's gonna follow up on that, so we might as well move on to the next one, Lisa.
yeah, I didn't
As-
hear. What was your question? He had a question. What did he say?
in the past, that path was at least 15 feet wide.
Okay.
I planted that land in the back there, my brother and I, for quite a few years. And our
Oh.
disc carriers are 15 feet. And I would get back there with 15 feet. So,
Okay.
just use that as a benchmark. My discs were 15 feet wide
Okay.
going back there. So I haven't been back there to see how much it has changed from that point, but it was at least that wide because I could get
Okay.
in and out of there easily.
Good
Okay,
information.
now, Jim, I'm gonna have a comment that maybe some of your equipment was extended beyond the wheels, so it didn't take, so your wheeled equipment didn't take up 15 feet. Maybe it was the harrowers, which just kind of went through brush, because I don't think in any location except right up front was the road that wide. because there's certain areas in the back where the river is just inches away from the path. And on the other side, you've got a drop of 3 feet, 2 feet for wetland.
The wheels track on the cart path, but the discs themselves are 15 feet wide going through.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
you know,
Lisa
I
will
got
see
back
that,
there
but
with 15 feet.
see now, I saw it in some places 10, some places 12.
Yeah, I would get back there fine with the disc.
Yeah.
Like I said, the tires were a little bit wider than a vehicle where the tires mount, and they're lift discs, but they're 15 feet wide. So be that as it may, this is quite a few years back now, but at one point I drove
Okay.
back there, and their discs, when the Reed brothers were planting it, were just as big, if not bigger, when they were getting back there with that.
So what
Yeah.
were they going back there for? Planting what? There's a
There's
field.
open fields in the back there that were farmed.
Okay.
Jim Souza, can you take a walk over there with Lisa?
I don't know when.
Okay, when Lisa can contact you and
We can
when
figure
you
it
get
out.
a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I don't know when it's going to be. It's going to be tough for me right now. I'll go back there on my own. But as far as coordinating something like that, I have no idea what's going to work out. I've been super busy lately.
Okay, all right.
Well, if you ever get back to town, if you work during the day and get back to town before it's dark, maybe we could take a walk then, you know?
I walked in the door tonight about 6:30.
Yeah, I did too in the dark.
So, yeah.
I hear you. All right, well, if there's ever a time you think you're gonna be around and it, just let me know.
Like I said, if I get a chance, I'll just go back there on my own and take a look because I know what it was.
All
Okay,
right, sounds good.
but when you do that, give Lisa a call. Maybe she can go with you. Maybe she
Okay.
can't.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
I'd
I
like,
could go with you. Maybe I can't. I don't know. Do the best we can with what we got.
Okay.
yeah, and regardless, no matter what, I mean, I think we gotta follow up on the enforcement order. You just
Yes.
have to keep following up with these
Yeah, you have to
things.
do
Oh,
that.
absolutely. I'm not saying not to, but what I'm saying, what it was.
Yeah,
Like I said, I'd like to take a look at it and see what it is, because I
Yeah.
went back there very often to know what it was
okay.
before it was disturbed.
Yeah, definitely have.
Lisa,
to
and
have
I
your-
like your point about being consistent with every single one of these cases. That's very good. At least
Yeah,
if you just follow that constantly, you can't get yourself into trouble.
right. I agree. Thank you. Hey, Bill, do you want to take the next one?
What's the next one?
The 3 Mile Railroad Trestle?
Okay. Jim, did you dig up the deed on the ownership of that trestle?
No,
Okay,
I'm not, I don't even think I don't think I looked on it.
all right. I thought
But
you were
it
gonna
does
do
look
that.
like it goes to Dayton Industries from the mapping, from the town mapping. It does look like that trestle is owned by them.
Yeah. When you say them, you say LLC Segregated.
No, Dayton Industries.
No, Josh Glass, the fellow that met us out there,
Yeah.
he represents LLC Segregated. He's the
Oh.
owner of that
Oh.
property.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, I just confused that with TLC.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the other one on Lopes.
Right.
Okay. All right. I'm back in. I don't know.
Okay, but I got a letter from Brad Chase, and I've been talking to him on the phone about the trestle. It takes a couple of years to build up enough debris to stop the migration of fish up the river. And since Fish and Game had stocked the stream just above the dam and the new fish ladder, he thought it was extremely important that we can keep that thing clean. Now, we can keep that trestle clean by wading out in the water and taking the debris out by hand, or taking the trestle out. And everybody's in favor of taking the trestle out. People that own the property, LLC Segregated, they're hemming and hawing, saying that it's a railroad trestle, belonged to the railroad company.
I think you're cutting
Didn't
out.
service the property that they own, so they don't have to take it out. You could work a couple of 3 years with a lawyer and find out that it does in fact belong to them and they do have to take it out. But it might not be such a big project if we can get the town and a little bit of help maybe from Taunton and remove the damn trestle ourselves. We have permission from granted permission from LLC Segregated to do just that if we so desire. Comments? Don't tell me I explained it so good you don't have any questions.
No, I think we should take advantage of what we can do because there's been so much time and effort and money put into this herring run that we can't let it fail.
Yeah.
I don't know the best way to go around it, but Brad said he was going to come up with an emergency letter to say that it has to come out because it is an environmental hazard and must come out. Now, he said that to both of us when we were down there in, I guess it was November. Has he come up with anything yet, Bill?
No, he sent that letter saying that you either have to keep it clean or take it out. And like I said when I was explaining it, it would take us a couple of years to prove that LLC owns it and has to take it out, and it would cost us. But we have a year, maybe even 2 years, before the trash builds up. Not trash, but brush and stuff like that before it builds up enough so it would impede the migration of fish. So,
and Bill,
I'm going to dig around. I'll talk to the people in Taunton that I have a good relationship with and see what we can come up with.
Is the trestle in Dayton or Taunton?
Both. Dayton, the river, the middle of the river is the town line.
Ah.
We own the west part, Taunton owns the east side. And the railroad tracks the railroad tracks that we need to run down to remove the trestle is all in Taunton. So we need to have cooperation from the town of Taunton's Conservation Commission. I've got a pretty good relationship with them people.
Good.
So we can just put that on hold for a year or so.
Yeah, not much longer though, because if we put it on hold, then it's going to take another year to pull everyone together. And Bill, you and I and Charlie and anyone else our age, not going to go there to take the brush out.
Why not, Jim?
We could get a bunch of Eagle Scouts together.
It's good exercise, Jim. It's it's heart stimulating.
Hey, Jim, you got any dynamite?
I got waders.
I'm just thinking it would be a good Eagle Scout project in addition to what you're going to talk about next.
Okay. What do you mean?
Yeah, that might be
cleaning
too
it up while
dangerous
removing
for
it a trestle.
No, just to clean up.
I guess you could clean it with dynamite and that would take care of the trestle.
Yeah, Tom Ferry said, yeah, dynamite might work, but
Yeah.
I'm not really in favor of that. So.
All right, let's. It won't take me a year to get things straightened out. Don't worry about it.
My husband's cracking up, Bill.
Hey, Jim, we're going to rely on you.
Okay.
That's a
Anything
good
else,
project. Yes,
Lisa?
there is. The Eagle Scout project with Ethan Pavo.
Oh, okay. I've talked to Ethan on the phone. he wants to get started for an Eagle Scout project. He wants to build some barn owl boxes and, you know, put them into local barns, and he can use that area down on 138 that we just purchased with the
Broad
old
Cove?
Kingsley property. And we now have a farm, an agricultural commission, so we can talk to the farmers with bonds and see if we can get some barn owl houses in their bonds.
That's a great idea.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
that be
I talked to
Ethan's,
Ethan about that, and as soon as he's got some built, him and I are gonna go around and talk to some of the barn owners. And we'll also take a walk on the east end of the, the west end of the conservation area off 138 near the salt marsh.
Sounds good, Bill. Sounds real
Okay.
good.
Definitely. Did he say when he wants to start? Is it this summer?
Yes. He wants to start, you know, as soon as late spring this year.
Late spring, great. Awesome.
Okay, he'll be ready to put the boxes up. He'll have them built by then.
Is he doing it all by himself?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Motivated.
we've been using this Eagle Scout thing successfully for a few years now.
Office update, I guess that's me.
Yep.
So the initial thought was to put me in the new old town hall, I guess they call it, where the Wampanoags used to be. Downstairs with Board of Health and the building inspector, but due to COVID, it puts them over their capacity. And they're a little crowded in there. So Jim Aguirre moved me over. I'm ironically where we used to meet in the downstairs of the town hall. I guess that's the old ZBA meeting room too, or office. I don't have any walls. I'm just in that room right now. It's a temporary space, but I've got a desk. The desktop was just set up. The phone needs to be set up. Tom Ferry let me borrow a nice cabinet, file cabinet. So we're looking good. Things are looking up, little by little, getting set up. I bought a whiteboard so you guys can come in and look at where the active projects are at and stay on top of that. And
Lisa, you
Charlie
should probably
did-
make a list of what you need. And if we
yeah,
can Get it for you, we'll make sure we get it for you.
yeah, I have a few field things I want to get. I have my own that I don't want to be using all the time, like a Munzel soil chart and an auger and a new pair of chaps, because, I don't always want to wear ratty pants to work. And I know if I could just put the chaps,
Yeah.
then the briars won't get through. So just a few things I think will get me through. But you guys did buy me an iPad, just so you guys know, the selectmen bought that. And my son set it up for me and I have to start using it. Right now I'm using my laptop, but it's going to be perfect because I can connect it to my hotspot on my phone, and I can take it in the field and, show the mapping and make notes on it or whatever. It has a little keyboard with it and a case. So
Nice.
little by little.
Lisa, I may have that Munso soil chart. I may have one.
Oh yeah, good.
Because,
Mine's
yeah, I was
falling.
given one some time back by the, what do they call them? The circuit riders
Oh,
from
nice.
DEP. So I'll look for it and you'll have it.
Great, that'd be great. I have
And-
3 tape measures now, just so you guys know. I don't need any more of those.
Lisa,
Yep,
one of those old cabinets that are in the old town hall,
yep.
upper drawer has chart, Munsell chart. And
Oh, really?
a lot of other data too. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I think I opened one of the drawers and saw tickets, enforcement order tickets, so now I know where those are.
It's a top drawer. It's a top, I'm not sure. I think it was a green, dark green cabinet, but maybe it wasn't,
Okay,
but it's there.
all right. Well, everyone's been really helpful getting me set up, helping me out. Carrie from planning has let us borrow some things, office supplies and things like that, but definitely it's budget time and the town's, asking for an updated budget and all, so we got to start thinking about that.
Now, you gonna get a printer? I mean,
Well,
a copier.
I don't know that we have to buy one unless we have to buy it from the planning board, because the planning board's gonna get a new one, I guess. I could maybe have theirs, but yeah, right now I'm emailing it to everybody to print. It's kind of like cumbersome, but and as far as my phone goes, it is my personal phone. I'm having all the business calls forwarded to it, because the phone isn't hooked up yet, and because I need to be available. So Todd Pilling, the Board of Health agent, gets a stipend every month for his phone, and that's what Brett and I were speaking about today with the accountant, that I would get a stipend, because I don't want to carry 2 phones around, I don't want
And you don't want that because it's all public record.
yeah.
And you should also look into some kind of clothing allowance. I know Todd gets one. You're gonna get out there, your pants are gonna get, little rips and
I know.
and dryers, and so you should, like I said, you should make a list and work whoever does the budget with you and figure
Yeah.
out what we can get this year for
Yeah,
next
so
year.
somebody needs to do the budget with me, and we have a meeting coming up with Brett. So, Charlie, is that going to be you? Do you want to come to the meeting with Brett and I, or?
I don't mind,
Okay. I'll
as
give
long
you,
as I'm not at the doctor's appointment. Man, I've been doctor's appointments one after the other.
yeah. Well, let me see.
We should have enough money, you were talking about chaps and those types of things, that to pay you out of a current budget. I know we've never had a large budget, but we do have money.
We don't spend any money.
Well, this is
Yeah.
what we could spend it all right now getting Lisa supplies. And there's no reason why she can't go out and get those chaps, get what, a couple
use her own
pair or
phone.
whatever she needs, and then we just pay her.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't really know exactly how much is in there. He gave me the spreadsheet, but I haven't analyzed it. I know that they might have to move things from accounts or whatever, but they're aware that the budget is gonna increase, and they expect it to increase. They're not
Well,
arguing.
it has to.
Yeah.
Now, okay, will your salary come out of our budget, our new budget?
Yeah,
Or will you be, okay, so you won't go on a separate budget with the, in the town? You would be under conservation budget.
right. Well, accounting has different numbers, for each account, payroll and things like that, but yeah. Office supplies, needs, dues, we have to update our dues, because I would like to start going to the MACC conferences, even if it's just virtual or something.
Okay.
I guess, and then the last thing, right, is the payment designation authorization form. I had Jim, Charlie, and Bill sign it. Linda at accounting suggested it. It was so that I don't have to chase Bill around to sign the payroll. It's not going to change every week or anything. It's the same every week, so.
So you're already taken care of on that.
Yeah, but you guys have to vote on it.
Okay. let's see, I'm thinking of a wording. Okay, so now who, you sign it and to get your pay, is that what it is, Lisa?
So someone has to sign my time card,
So you can sign your stuff.
and now I can sign my time card. It just says I work 25 hours a week.
Okay, I move that we authorize Lisa Caledonia to sign her own pay card for her weekly pay.
Second.
I'll sec, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks,
Now-
guys.
Now she doesn't have to chase me around.
I mean, I'll still
you're
come
too
find
old,
you.
Bill. Okay, that's it. Are we all set with the meeting?
Yeah, but when you do the budget, find out about that stipends for the phone, because it might be quite a while before she gets a town phone and a town line, Charlie.
Yeah, well, so I do have a town line, Bill, and it goes directly to my cell phone. Okay, so, but
That's not
also,
a good idea.
well, no, it is, because then I don't always have to be checking those messages. And they don't know that it's going to my cell phone. They don't see that number. And in fact, Karen can set it up so that I can call out and they won't see my number, which is the best idea, because I don't want everyone under the sun having my cell phone number.
Or, I mean, I'm sure Charlie gets phone calls from lawyers, from engineers, from soil scientists all over the state. And, right, Charlie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days. I said, okay, if we're all set, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. We can't both second it.
Someone has to third.
Jim just did it.
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
8:30, aye, 8:39.
Forgot to say, it's good to be back, guys. You haven't changed at all,
Well, you
Well,
have
you
a
know-
little bit, yeah. You're a little bit more mature.
right?